So hi Nikolas, we are sitting here in front of the Tiffany Club, and since you've been in Ljubljana for some time during your stay at the Odisejevo shelter project, you have also come in contact with these guys from this club. What was your experience?
Well, I'm now almost 3 weeks now. I'm leaving on Saturday. I just went to Tiffany's club, and I had, it was really funny after all those months to just enter a place where you can actually dance to techno music and feel free, because it's due to Corona, it's not. Those chances are but a few.
But also in your poetry, you said to me that you prefer urban environment, places like these squats in the cities like Metelkova, where we are right now, places with people, and you prefer them to strictly lonely places with natural environment. You like to refer to people and the culture also in your poems.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the way the people move around me in the town, the urban life around me. I'm really interested in the ways people talk and behave and feel. I'm really trying to grasp their feelings and the way they think, and the way they are included in the urban space. In my poetry, I'm actually influenced by some beat American poets of the 1950s and 1960s, like Frank O'Hara, Allen Ginsberg, Gregory Corso, people who actually could depict the life in town, and be in the same time strongly political with everyday life. Like, for instance, Frank O'Hara had a certain some verses who described a black man eating his liver sandwich. That's extremely political in a way, and at the same time it has the strongly natural, humanly value that really amazes me and interests me.
But you reflect in this poem Sandwich, Frank O'Hara, also in the style. I think the atmosphere there is written in his I do this, I do that manner, only it is transformed in the contemporary environment. So what's happening around him is also what's happening on the internet. We live in a more viral society right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. In that poem that you are referring, The Sandwich, from my first book, The Calcomania, I'm actually starting the poem describing the whole virtual reality of viral videos and of astrology, the things that many people are interested normally in everyday life, and then I actually try to talk about the fact that there are people, men, beautiful men, who have studied, for instance, economics and work in a bakery, from where I have both the sandwich that I'm referring to, and I'm referring especially to Frank O'Hara, because he was, as I told before, describing a worker eating his liver sandwich.
But we also refer to Frank O'Hara in this interview, and we are standing in front of the Tiffany Center because this is, of course, a center of gay community, and your poetry is also gay poetry. Like one poem is written, as far as I read it at least, to a lover or a person whom you like, and it clearly shows this is a male person, although I think one could also read it as written to a female. It doesn't matter, because poetry is poetry.
Yeah, sure. You're referring to Arachovi Street, Exarchia. Exarchia is more or less like Metelkova. It's a whole neighborhood in Athens. I live there. So many movements, many political movements, anarchist and communist and you name it, are there. It's their basis, or it used to be. Yeah, homosexuality is a major part in my poetry, and it's also a political part. Like, I'm really thinking that if I write about my private life, private is political, private is social. The title of my second book that was recently published by Thraka Publications in Greece is called "Just Don't Bring Anyone Home." It's the fact that if you're gay, if you're LGBT, your family, your environment might be strongly against your being happy, strongly against your being you've been living with your life openly as a gay person. Whenever I write about the people that I've met, my loves, my inner wishes, my inner thoughts, I write about society. My house is an open space, it's a social space. So I bring society inside, and I give to society whatever I bring inside my house, and my whole space and environment is there in my poetry.
And during the time of Corona crisis, our government and our Prime Minister made a really ugly accusation of non-governmental organizations situated here in Metelkova, and also other non-governmental organizations. He was accusing them of being guilty for the people who were dying during the Corona because the previous government had given money to their organizations. And he said that's why there are poor conditions in the houses of the elderly, although of course that's not true. And you said that something similar is happening also in Greece. They're trying to make everybody else guilty except for them, and they're using this Corona crisis as an excuse for suppressing all sorts of different non-governmental institutions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking, that there's a central European political strategy of dividing people, if they are vaccinated or not, if they're leftish or right-wing. Recently happened in Greece, and there was a certain article, a slander article, that accused Thraka of being just gaining money, 18,000 euros. That was actually 700 euros, 7,000 euros actually, for the program of Ulysses Elder that I participate. But there was a slander article accusing them of just drinking alcohol and eating stuff. That's why they gain money, and they take money from the European Union. So as you can imagine, they try to divide, even in literary world and in the politics. So yeah, young people in Athens were accused of spreading the coronavirus, while the actual right-wing government, the neoliberal and in some parts fascist government in Greece, did nothing to hire people who could work in hospitals, to open hospitals. They did nothing. They gave no money, and people were actually dying in their homes without having the proper care in a hospital. So they were blaming for their usefulness, for their actually not doing anything. They were blaming the people, as they always do.
And as a guy coming from the Orthodox Christian environment, you spent some time in the Catholic Poland, in Warsaw, and in your poem you say you are turning into a Catholic, but it must be sort of an irony, because as far as I know you are a hardline atheist.
Yeah, that's true. In 2018 I was in Poland. There were still, back then, anti-LGBT laws. People were trying to illegalize what's the word? The abortion. Now, last year we saw a huge movement in Poland about that. It's a strongly misogynistic, a strongly homophobic, and a strongly capitalist country right now. So yeah, I was mocking not the country, not their extremely beautiful civilization and literature and stuff, but their policy, their politics. So by
the politics of hatred.
The politics of hatred, and church always plays a major part in that. Its power, it has strongly political power. The church. One of the main reasons, actually, the socialism that they had collapsed was due to church.
And to finish this interview, you are staying these days in the apartment of Dane Zajc, a great Slovenian poet, the place where he lived, and you were also reading some of his poems, and one of his poems has influenced you to write a poem related to it.
Last night, actually, I was working on it. There was a poem translated to Greek in 1977. It was about birds that were killing. Some people were searching for birds inside him and in his neighborhood and everywhere, searching and kill him and digging inside to find birds and kill them. So it was a strongly political poem, and I used it to describe that they are still killing people in Greece, in the Balkan countries, in everywhere. They're killing women right now in Greece. Like every month we have a femicide in Greece. They're killing LGBT people in 2018. They actually killed Zakio brutally, and if it wasn't filmed on video, she would be accused of being a thief and a drug addict. That was not true. She was brutally killed by an owner of a jewelry and the police. So yes, I was referring to that certain poem of Dane Zajc, talking to him and telling him that they are still killing people, they're still searching people, but they are in the same time pushing inside and really making people feel suffocating, and just selling all of us really cheap to international companies and international free market. So that's why they kill birds, and they're searching for birds to sell them for free, cheaply, as workers.
So almost all of your poetry is related to politics, even though perhaps not directly, but at least indirectly. And I guess it's not a surprise that you also liked the poetry of Edvard Koutsodontis here, who was a person who tried to relate the two fields, artistic and political sphere, to the extreme, who wanted to be both an active politician and an active poet, and who had to pay a price for trying to do it. What did you find attractive in Koutsodontis' work, Koutsodontis' poems?
There is a certain poem of his, he's talking about parrots. It's a strongly political, of course, poem. And I'm actually trying to use it and write about it. Like, we do have parrots today. They are repeating, they are the actual voice of the state, the actual voice of the police, the actual voice of the industrialists and the bourgeoisie. So I'm trying to talk about those people, those parrots, who have to try and erase them, the thing that they are just being parrots. They have to be citizens. They have to be active, not just puppets of any right-wing government. So I might even work on it today. Respond to Koutsodontis' poem. Yes, that's what I intend to do later, actually. And I wish I can write something as beautiful as he was, because that's what I'm trying to do with myself in my poetry. I'm trying to be active as not a politician, but as a political poet. And in the same time, to talk about humanism, to interfere with the inner feelings of people. That's the most important thing, to write about that special thing that makes a person human.
Well, thank you, Nikolas. I'm sure your poem inspired by Koutsodontis will turn out to be a good one, and I wish you a nice rest of the stay in Ljubljana.
Thank you very much.